information concerning the Black Hawk helicopter. An advanced surveillance system that can track other aircraft and other locations significantly more accurate than radar tracking systems. The helicopter had been flying around 100 feet above the maximum limit of the time of crash. It was reportedly a half-mile off course. The more this comes out, the more deliberate it appears. Black Hawk safety feature was off during mid-air collision with passenger plane over DC. I just hate to go there, ladies and gentlemen. I hate it. I don't know Rebecca Lobach. I know that she worked for Joe Biden. That is not a disqualifier from serving your country. You don't have to work for specific leaders or not. But why was somebody who is clearly a inexperienced pilot who is working part-time in the White House, flying in the most dangerous airspace in the world? There is no greater number of tourists and VIPs, senators, congressmen, heads of state that are flying into Reagan National Airport. It is the heaviest sequence of VIPs traveling to and from and landing on that runway than any airport on Earth. It's probably the most dangerous area to fly because of its proximity to the capital city and our capital treasure. It looks kind of like this, right? So you're not able to see all around you. Now, this may have messed with the Black Hawk crew's ability to see the actual plane.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
But oh, Billy Jilly Willy, time to go back down that rabbit hole. Time to go back. Back down that rabbit hole. Back down that rabbit hole. What's going on to them beautiful patriots? It's time to go back that down rabbit hole. I'm telling you, man. Oh, man, we got some breaking news. We got a big one here, y'all. Y'all know, and there y'all been blowing me up. Rick, check it out. Rick, get into it. We here. Shocking news on this daily DC plane crash, man. And again, I wanted to send my prayers, love, and condolences out to the family and friends of these victims, man. Rest in peace to these beautiful souls, man. You know, but how y'all doing? Y'all have an amazing week. Had an amazing week. Getting ready for the weekend. Super Bowl Sunday. Where my sport fans at, man? I know some of y'all not sport fans. A lot of y'all are. Y'all know football was my part of my entire life. When I retired from football, you know, I took my career on here and more serious. You know, I took the influencer, content creator, social media more serious, and it changed my life. You know, and now we're here. But shout out to my sport fans, man. Who y'all got? Let me know. Let me know now. Let me know. Y'all got them Chiefs or them Eagles? Y'all know I want either team to win. I love Philadelphia. I love my Eagles, man. And I love Kansas. I played football in Kansas. So hey, I played football in Kansas. You know what I'm saying? I ended my career in Kansas, man. So I got a lot of love for Kansas. I want to see a three-peat. Want to see history, man. But prayers for the Super Bowl. They talking about more attacks. Talking about history repeat itself, and you know where the Super Bowl is located. I mean, it's just a lot of theories. Prophets are speaking about something. It's just a lot going on. So just want to send my prayers to the Super Bowl and anybody that is traveling there. And I want to just wish safe travels to all you guys, man. Safe travels to everybody, man, that is watching today's video. And oh boy, we got a big one to get into. And it's crazy. About, I would say a couple hours, about 5 hours ago, I got a phone call. And it was a family member who loves the channel, but is very anti-Trump, never Trumper. He said, man, I love what Trump is doing. He said, I regret some of the things that I said about him. And that he actually might be what we needed. Out his own mouth, y'all, and I was surprised. He says, man, I love what Trump is doing. And I told y'all more has been done in the last 2 weeks in the last 4 years. And then we went on and talked about more things. And then he even brought up this crash deal and said, man, it's just very fishy. You know, I hate to say stuff was intentional, but it looks intentional. Something is fishy about this whole situation. And he's one of those ones that hates conspiracy theories. He hates this and that. But he says this right here is very, very fishy. And coming from him, you know, I said, oh, boy. But yeah, man, a lot of Americans right now are hotter than fish grease of what has been exposed with our government. Shout out to Elon Musk, Doge. They're on the ground running right now. Trump administration, man. And I told you, be ready, buckle up for these next 4 years. You know, big things are going to happen every single day. And it's going to be win after win after win. But I got Democrats calling me and telling me that Trump, anti-Trumpers, Trump haters, y'all, saying they love what Trump is doing. They love that Trump is back. Man, that is powerful, man. Democrats, anti-Trumpers, loving what Trump is doing these past 2 weeks. Whew. A lot of people are changing their tone. Yeah. Oh, boy. We'll see what the future brings us, man. Let's jump into this huge rabbit hole. More news, more details on this DC crash. Shout out to my brother Benny, and shout out to all them lovely patriots and my family members that blow me up and make sure that y'all keep me updated and that I stay continue with this whole investigation that we're going on, man.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Let's say you're a cop, you're looking for a mass murderer, you think you've pulled him over, and you knock on the window, and you say, can I look in the trunk of your car? Might be a body back there. And the driver says, yeah, absolutely. Here's the keys. I'll go back there with you. You'll find my sneakers and a tennis ball. And your suspicion levels will immediately go down. But let's say the driver instead starts profusely sweating, locks the door, starts shaking, won't respond, and then peels out and drives away. You're like, hold on. I think cat caught a mouse, right? Like, I think I got it. This person is acting incredibly suspicious. This person is trying to hide something from me. This is what people naturally believe when you try and conceal and hide a crime. They say, wait a second, you're guilty, obviously, especially in the case of murder. And that is what we saw in the skies over Washington, D.C. just a few nights ago, when a military helicopter murdered 67 people inside of a commercial aircraft, in the deadliest commercial aircraft crash in 20 years. Horrible to watch. Why haven't we found out all of the information about this crash? Like, millions of Americans fly every single year. We are entitled to know as much as we possibly can about why this happened. But ladies and gentlemen, the people who actually released the footage that I just showed you to CNN, they've been arrested. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's one thing. A lot of people that brought up to me like, man, they got like, it's crazy, man. We literally, where was I at, man? Because this was literally, we went to the store and then we got back home. And then I went to the mailbox, and my neighbor came out, and we chopped it up for so long on this situation, man. Y'all, we was out there talking for like 2-3 hours. I'm telling you. He say, man, this is fishy. And then my family member called me, and we talked about it too. And then he talked about Trump, and you know, now sounds like he's a Trump lover. Trump hater, never a Trumper, a Democrat. A Trump lover now, huh? Oh, boy.
The individuals who were working at the Washington Reagan National Airport where the crash happened were arrested for giving this footage to CNN. Now, maybe they were just trying to make a quick buck. I don't know. But these two individuals got immediately locked up for showing the public what actually happened. That's suspicious. Why didn't you release the footage? Like, this is insane. Why haven't you shown the American public? We pay for you. We pay for the airport, right? Comes from the tax dollars. It was our tax dollars that was flying this Black Hawk helicopter. And who exactly was flying the Black Hawk helicopter? Black Hawk helicopter's shocking aviation blunder moments before crashing into plane, confirmed in new report. What exactly is the blunder here? Well, apparently, the Black Hawk helicopter was flying not only a mile off course, but 100 feet too high. It was flying in an illegal airspace that it wasn't allowed to be flying in. The official data came as questions mount over how the collision, which killed 67 people, occurred, given the pilots following strict protocol around the altitudes that they can safely fly. Information from air traffic control radar and the black box recovered from the plane show investigators fear that the military chopper was 100 feet above where it was supposed to be. Donald Trump posted on Truth Social something similar to this. That the helicopter was not flying where it was allowed to fly. Reagan National Air Force is notoriously crowded, and it crossed into the airspace between the jets. This helicopter, flown by 28-year-old Captain Rebecca M. Lobach on a routine training exercise, was flying at 300 feet. The maximum altitude permitted is 200, and they were a mile and a half off course. Now we find even more shocking revelations that have been kept from us up till now. Black Hawk crew was likely wearing night vision goggles at time of DC plane crash. Now, I did a couple phone calls to buddies of mine who served in special forces, and I asked, why would this be important? And they said, go ahead and Google what night vision goggles look like. Well, night vision goggles might be very helpful for hunting individuals in like an open, in a plane, or for searching in rough terrain. They can be really, really cumbersome and problematic inside of an aircraft because of their distortion of light and because they black out your peripheral vision. And so you see effectively tunnel vision through the goggles. It looks kind of like this, right? So you're not able to see all around you. Now, this may have messed with the Black Hawk crew's ability to see the actual plane until, of course, you see the footage. And you realize that they're just flying right into it. The goggles, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, obviously, you're not making excuses for this, and we certainly are not. The goggles shouldn't have stopped them from being able to see that giant. I mean, you go back. Look at this. Look at this footage. The plane is shining like a giant burning star in the sky.
That's what hits me like, bro.
Sources that I called, they said that a plane that is lit up like that, I mean, you can see here, it's a good example. Like the bright lights in night vision goggles are like searing bright. They're like shining, burning your eyeballs and retinas bright. Okay? The bright lights are even brighter. Like even dust light is extremely bright, right? So it's like, this is what bright lights look like on an aircraft carrier right here. So even more so, it gets strange. Like if they were wearing the goggles. The Black Hawk was performing a routine training mission in an effort to renew 28-year-old Captain Rebecca Lobach's annual certifications crashed into an American airline flight, making its final descent into Reagan National Airport. Investigators probing the crash have been focused on whether the soldiers on board were wearing nighttime visual aids when the collision took place. The head of the National Transportation Safety Board confirmed Thursday that the crew were likely adhering to the expected safety guidelines and wearing their goggles. So perhaps there was some type of a distortion. But this is where the true trouble lies. Black Hawk's tracking tech was turned off when it crashed into plane, as mangled wreck is pulled from the Potomac. Vital tracking technology inside of the Army Black Hawk helicopter was turned off for no compelling reason when it collided with the passenger plane over Washington, D.C. last week. The Black Hawk was performing a routine training mission in an effort to renew Captain Lobach's certification. it crashed into the airline. When the chopper went down, the Black Hawk's automatic dependent surveillance broadcast was disabled, a system that shares the aircraft's position, altitude, and speed, New York Times, Ted Cruz told the New York Times on Thursday. The technology also includes a display that shows the pilots the location of other aircrafts, both in the sky and on the runway, and allows for air traffic controllers not just to rely on radar tracking, but to have a delay of a few seconds, according to the USA Today. Military helicopters can turn off the system during a continuity of government missions so nobody can track where the government officials are being flown. Cruz, the Texas Republican, said that was not the case at the time of the deadly crash. In this instance, the training mission, there was no compelling national security reason for their tracking devices to be turned off, he told the Times, following a closed-door briefing from the investigation. He noted that the helicopter was equipped with transponder to broadcast its location, but the technology was off. Woof. Ladies and gentlemen, it just gets creepier and creepier. So this helicopter flies directly into this commercial aircraft. Night vision goggles or not, they clearly saw the aircraft here. This looks like a targeted hit on the aircraft, and there's no other way to explain it. The safety system that would have prevented this crash, or at the very least would have sent screaming alerts to everybody about the crash, was turned off. And then suddenly, things start getting even more crazy when you look at the actual full flight path of the helicopter versus the commercial airline. This is just part of a 71-second video from the top of the Kennedy Center where you can see how long the helicopter flew directly at, you see a little spark of light there? I apologize. It's miles away from the crash. But here you can see the totality. You can see the helicopter flying directly at the commercial airline for seconds on end. The full video has the helicopter literally making a beeline for the aircraft for a minute on end. Makes no sense. It's like you're hiding something. What are you hiding? Why, ladies and gentlemen, would they be dripping all this information out? More information concerning the Black Hawk helicopter. An advanced surveillance system that can track other aircraft and other locations significantly more accurate than radar tracking systems. The helicopter had been flying around 100 feet above the maximum limit of the time of crash. It was reportedly a half-mile off course. The more this comes out, the more deliberate it appears. Black Hawk safety feature was off during mid-air collision with passenger plane over D.C. I just hate to go there, ladies and gentlemen. I hate it. I don't know Rebecca Lobach. I know that she worked for Joe Biden. That is not a disqualifier from serving your country. You don't have to work for specific leaders or not. But why was somebody who is clearly a inexperienced pilot who is working part-time in the White House flying in the most dangerous airspace?
And this is the fishiest part for everybody. One of the biggest red flags is this. One of the biggest red flags.
World. There's no greater number of tourists and VIPs, senators, congressmen, heads of state that are flying into Reagan National Airport. It is the heaviest sequence of VIPs traveling to and from and landing on that runway than any airport on Earth. It's probably the most dangerous area to fly because of its proximity to the capital city and our capital treasure. I mean, it's like a 5-minute drive from the airport to get into D.C. It's literally at the foot of Washington, D.C. You see the monuments as you fly in if you've ever gone there. Why was this inexperienced pilot who was just doing this part-time allowed to fly a mile off course, 100 feet too high, without the radar transponder and safety mechanisms on in the aircraft, with night vision goggles that can be distortive of your vision? And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, why did they arrest immediately the people who showed you this footage? This is the clearest footage that we have to date of what happened here. Now, here's what is enraging. Some of these articles talk about how there are recordings from inside the cockpit. Now, of course there are. It's a military cockpit. There's going to be recordings. Why haven't we heard those? Why haven't we heard what's being said to these pilots? Perhaps it would tell us what really happened here. Why haven't we gotten any information from the actual military about what's going on with these pilots inside of the Black Hawk helicopter that was clearly at fault? The commercial airline had been cleared for landing. The commercial airline was doing exactly what is standard and normal for a commercial airline to do. Something horribly dark and wrong and evil, perhaps, either incompetence or malevolence, you don't know until you have the information, went on inside of the helicopter. President Trump, when asked about it, said, yeah, these people are just incompetent. We had people who were flying where they shouldn't be allowed to fly, and immediately afterwards, President Trump restricted all helicopters from flying in this area.
Might have played a role. We'll let you know.
And this fella's been right about a lot of things. And even though he's been right in what they do to us MAGA, and they drag us through the mud, but then conspiracy theories come conspiracy facts. We were right about this, right about that. You know, first they drag us through the mud. And then the truth sets you free.
We want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are. We want the most competent people, especially in those positions. And you're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
Donald Trump saying incompetence. Incompetence or malevolence. The only way to actually determine between the results are the same. People die tragically. But when you're hiding things, when you're locking up people giving us footage, when you're not allowing the public to know what really went on inside that cockpit, it leads people to assume the worst. So incompetence or malevolence, it's going to be one or the other. We'll stay on this story, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't forgotten. We're going to find the truth here. And we have to, because we have to live in a safe country. And people have to have confidence in these systems that keep all of us safe and all of our families safe. So we pray for the families, mothers, fathers, children who lost their lives, Olympians, Chinese nationals, Russian nationals were on that plane. It's a total tragedy.
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Send our prayers, love, and condolences out. And I want to just send my prayers out for you guys and your safety. You know, you're traveling. For you and your family, your loved ones, man. You know, it's a lot going on. When there's big things headed, there's more things are going to take place in 2025, you know. So, I want to send prayers out to all you guys. And prayers for the Super Bowl this Sunday. You know, they're talking about a lot of crazy stuff, man. Y'all hear the exact same things as well. It's crazy. But, again, you never know. So, I want to send my prayers out, man, and that y'all have an amazing rest of your week, rest of the weekend. God bless you all. And we're going to stay updated, stay covering this, and we'll see where it takes us, man. I love y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, family.